Welcome back to demonstration video of basic power system analysis using PSSE. Now that we have created the required files for performing contingency analysis, it is time to perform the contingency analysis. In order to perform contingency analysis, what we are going to do is we are going to go to Power Flow. In Power Flow, you are going to see an option, contingency, reliability, PV/QV analysis. For users who are using previous versions, you may find these options within solutions. So in my case, we have a separate tab from 33 and onwards. So I select this, and within this we have to select this option, AC contingency solution, ACCC. So once I click on this, I have this option open, and within this option what we are going to see is we have the solution options. So within the solution options, what we see, these are all the similar options which we have seen in the load flow analysis. So what kind of, do I want to keep my taps locked, stepping direct, similarly area interchange, similarly switch shunt. So whatever options we were using within load flow analysis, always try to use the same options for this. So my solution engine will be Newton-Raphson method. Dispatch mode, I am not considering any dispatch mode. What I want is whatever is the generation. My worst case scenario is whatever generation I have available within my system, use that PGen within the system and tell me, will I end up with overloading after tripping of some line? Am I going to end up with some kind of a problem following a contingency? So for this purpose, I'm not considering redispatch, so I have made this option disable. And then do what I want to do with my induction motor load model. So as we discussed during this transient stability analysis, that in transient stability analysis, what happens is that once your voltages get low, your motors tend to get stalled, or your braking current within the motor starts to increase. So if you want to consider this phenomena for contingency analysis, so if you have modeled this motor as a static motor within PSSE, this option is available from version 33 onwards. So if you have these motors and if you want to stall these motors, so what exactly do you want with these motors? Do you want this induction motors to stall? Do you want this induction motors to trip following this low voltage? And how do you want to consider these contingencies where you have the stalling of the motors or tripping of the motors? But since in our case, or normally during large scale studies, this is utility practice, we do not use this induction motor model for steady state analysis. It's not a good way to perform the studies. So we are just going to disconcern this. So this is not a concern. Whatever the option is there, it is not going to impact our studies. The only thing we need to provide here is my contingency output file. For this purpose, I'm going to provide a contingency output file. So again, I browse to the location IEEE 9. I'm keeping the name same. Once I have this name, all you have to do is see here. This time the output file name is static.acc. So my output file will be with the extension acc. So I give the file name. Once I press save, I am all set to perform the analysis. So the next step is going to be to click on solve. Once you click on solve, all the contingencies which you have provided in the list of contingencies which you have provided in your con file is going to be performed one by one, and the results are going to be stored in your ACC file. So once I press solve, you see it was fast, but it started to perform all the contingencies, all the available contingencies, all the credible contingencies. It performed the contingency analysis for all the credible contingencies. Once this has been performed, now you have the ability to see the result. So now what are different ways of seeing the result? We will see now. So one of the way to see the result is you can go to reports, and within the reports what you are going to see is what kind of report do you want. So do you want a spreadsheet kind of a report, overload report? So you have different. Or do you want the spreadsheet loading table? You want the available capacity table? you want the non-spreadsheet view, do you want to see the non-converged, you want to see the corrective action, whatever kind of report you want, you can see from here. Similarly, for each case, what kind of this ratings do you want to see? For the base case, do you want to see rate A? For the contingency case, do you want to see rate A, B or C? So because we considered 100% as a rate A, so that is why during contingency analysis also I'm going to consider rate A. So this is totally up to you. What kind of rating do you want to consider for your base case and for your contingency case? Similarly, you have different options. You can play with these options. These are just for the reporting purpose. So I am keeping them as it is. And the type of report I am getting now is my spreadsheet overload report. So I want to see that do I have any kind of overload following this kind of contingency analysis. So once I press on go, our result is going to be generated here. So I just let me press close here. So during this in my progress window, I have one report created. So what I can do is I will simply copy this report, right click, copy this report from here. I will go to my notepad, I'll double click, so I'll just place my contingencies here, and let me just go on to the top so that we can discuss how we can see the results, or how we can infer the results, how can we tell about the results, how we can analyze the results of this contingency analysis. So we have this report, and what kind of options and the file we have selected, the name of the files you can see here, whatever files we selected, what were the options we selected for the contingency analysis. These all options are given here, and here is the result. So what do we have here? My monitor system. So it is telling me what is the name of my system, what kind of system I selected. So if you remember, the subsystem name I gave was whole system. So that is why you will see whole subsystem written here. So I have this contingency label. What kind of problem is happening within my contingency? Is it having some problem with the range, or is it having some problem with the deviation? So it is telling me, and for which particular contingency. So single 4 to 5 means single line out from bus number 4 to bus number 5. So this is my contingency. Where my problem is coming, it is telling me about the bus number and the bus name, the bus voltage, what were my pre-contingency voltage, these are my contingency voltages, these are my initial voltages, and this is my range of my voltages. So here I am having the problem with my range. So whenever the contingency between circuit number 4 and 5 will come, what is going to happen? At bus number 5, my voltages are going to drop from 0.99 per unit to 0.83 per unit. Similarly, I can see the deviation. So if you see the deviation here, you will see that initially my voltages were at for this particular contingency, bus number 4 to bus number 5, at bus number 5, my initial voltages were 0.995, my contingency voltages are 0.83. So what is happening is my deviation is more than 3% in this particular case. So that is why, because here you see my minimum deviation should be, if deviation is more than 3%, it is going to be reported. So it is being reported here. So this is how my voltage contingencies are being shown. I did not have any problem with the power flows, so that is why my power flow contingency or my overload option is unchecked, because I selected my overload option. Similarly, no voltage violation report other than this, so whole report is within the one page, and here my labels are given, that what kind of contingency I am talking about and what does this mean. So when I say single one from 5 to 1, this contingency basically means open line from bus number 4 to bus number 5. And this is my summary. So what is happening for each particular contingency? Am I meeting my convergence tolerance? am I having some kind of flow problem? So if I have overloading problem within my system, it is going to be, all the violations are going to be violated here. So if I'm going to have some voltage violations, these voltage violations are going to be reported here. So if you see, for single contingency between 4 to 5, what I'm having is that I am having 3 voltage violations. Similarly, for 4 to 6, I'm only having 1 voltage violation. For 5 to 7, again I'm having 3 voltage violation. So this way you can interpret the report. So let us see another kind of report. So for seeing the report, again I can go to power flow, contingency, CCC contingency. All my files are selected. I'll just simply go to report, and this was my overload report. How about non-spreadsheet loading table? So let's see what was the loading of the transmission line before a fault and after the fault. So for this purpose, because I already showed you this spreadsheet view, now let's see a different kind of a report. So I'll select this, and once I press go, you'll see here another report is created. What I'm going to do again is I'm going to select this report, select all, then copy, then again I am going to go to the notepad. Let me just open my notepad and paste, and here it is. So here is another kind of report. So again, what is this report telling me? What were my files which were used? What were the options for load flow analysis which were used? And now step by step it is telling me. So first it is trying to tell me about 4 contingencies. So line a single 1 to 4, 2 to 7, 3 to 9, and 4 to 5. And what is happening within these 4 contingencies? So these was my contingency. See, the report type is completely different with respect to the other. So for these contingencies, what is happening from bus number 1 to bus number 4, T1. So the rating was not given, so flow, that is why you won't see for these 4 transmission lines, you won't see any rating. But here where the rating is given, my rating of the transmission line is 250 MVA, whereas some of the other lines are 150 MVA. So my base case flow was somewhere around 22%, 13%, 34%, 41%, 30%. Similarly, once contingency number 1 happened, what happened in this case? So for single one, what happened? You will see everything 0. Why? Because in this case, my swing bus was separated from my entire system. So everything went to 0. It was kind of a blackout kind of a case. So that is why you see 0, 0, 0 here. Whereas for the second contingency, yes, you are going to see some results. So here in this case, what you see is for bus number 4 to 5, initially your flow was 56.1 megawatt on this line, right? And after the contingency, the flow on this line increased to 143.6. So it increased from 22.6% to 57.9%. So I can see the change in flow. Whereas for contingency for 3 to 9, the change is less. Similarly for 4 to 5, because this line is stripped, that is why I cannot see value. I cannot see any value here. So this way you can interpret the another way to interpret the results. If you will go down, then next 4 contingencies are given, and the results of the next 4 contingencies. Then moving on, then the next contingencies and their results. So this way you are going to see all the results. So this is totally up to you what kind of contingencies or how do you want to report your results. So but I have shown you both the non-spreadsheet view, the spreadsheet view. Spreadsheet view looks far better as compared to the non-spreadsheet view. So this is only about how I mean, it's all about the display here.